99% of SSA, Social Security retirement beneficiary recipients have been alarmed and alerted, warning them of potential SHTF moments as they relate to this congressional budget debt ceiling default crisis scenario and situation that is presently in the hands of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, President Joe Biden, and Janet Yellen in the mix, trying to do her best to take some extreme measures to try to keep the government going during this crazy and complicated time of potential government default. That could send rippling shockwaves throughout the country, but also the world, as if the United States were to default on its debt, that would have lasting implications with the United States' own credit and reputation when it comes to other countries, particularly and specifically BRICS nations being Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, while they're also working on their own new form of digital currency, a central bank digital currency, CBDC accepted as their uniform currency of trade. The last thing we want to do is give them any further fuel for their fire by seeing the U.S. default on its debt, while President Biden sits by idly and allows this collapse to occur, with merely stating he will only veto any proposals brought to him, while also funneling money out of the country into others, supporting wars, supporting other agendas, supporting other initiatives, rather than focusing on supporting those here in this great nation. Representative John Larson out of Connecticut has made a very, very strong push for increased benefits, a stimulus to the COLA, cost of living adjustment, for all retirees and seniors on fixed income. 99% of these folks relying on the SSA and the Social Security Administration for their retirement benefits. These beneficiaries, these recipients are worried, panicked, and with good reason, with recent news headlines and warnings and alerts about a potential debt ceiling crisis potentially impacting their June and or July fixed income direct deposits for Social Security from the SSA. 2100 Act could potentially, if passed, be the answer to the prayers of over 30 plus million fixed income retirement benefit recipients that are hoping that not only can a new budget be approved and passed through Congress and ultimately signed by the president, Mr. Biden, but also see an increase so that they can have a much better chance at not having to try to manage their retirement years on a fixed income and also living in poverty, unable to afford the basic necessities of food, shelter, healthcare, transportation, and ultimately suffer the fate of increased costs and higher prices due to inflation. Now, granted, this has to be approved and ultimately pushed through at the same time that there have been other statements made and warnings and announcements that the Social Security Trust Fund will experience a shortfall in the next few years. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we receive some good news here soon, particularly for those who have paid into these programs for their entire working lives, only to then experience a questionable period in which they have reached retirement and they're not sure if they're going to receive their full retirement age benefits. Now, folks, if this information interests you and you want future updates and more access to the proposals and the potential changes, increases to these benefits, warnings, alerts, updates, any stimulus package updates, then by all means, please let me know simple and easy way by hitting the like button. And if you so choose, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Now, I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, so we're going to stick to the topic at hand here. I find it ironically crazy and odd that this has to be a fight that we have to endure while our tax dollars are being sent to other countries to stimulate and fund their wars, their conflict, support their people and refugees, support migrants that are entering into this country illegally, taking over in certain states, particularly New York State, but New York City, and ultimately gaining access to five-star hotels, the whole nine. Rolled out the red carpet, for lack of better words. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, unfortunately. But maybe if there's enough push, maybe if there's enough, the squeaky wheel gets the grease from Representative John Larson, maybe there can be a push for some positive change here in the very near future. I think we would all like to see that happen. Now, I know that many are praying that this 2100 Act can be, this proposal can be passed, and ultimately this benefit increase to the cost of living adjustment for SSA, SSI, Social Security retirement beneficiaries really help them in much needed ways that they have been struggling through for many, many years now. And the Social Security program not receiving any form of program improvements since like the 70s. So we're going to keep an eye on that, as well as what is happening with the current proposal for the new congressional budget, any potential delays or suspensions or furloughs or layovers involving the debt ceiling crisis budget, as well as House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, President Joe Biden, their negotiations, their talks, and what we can likely see here in the near future. As well as, of course, if there's any potential chance for any disruption or interruption to payments to be sent out and or received through direct deposit from the SSA, the U.S. Treasury, best believe I will be bringing you guys that information as quickly as possible. Until next time, you all take care, be safe. I'll see you real soon.